Assalamu alaikum everybody, Sumaya here. Hope you're all doing well. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Islamic Reader. Today's story, A Kind Neighbor by Hibah Hasan, is what I will read. This is from the same book, The Prophet Muhammad for Children. A Kind Neighbor. The Hussains were not only a very close-knit family, but were also very good friends with the people in their neighborhood, such as the Khan family, who lived to their right. However, the house on their left had been empty with a for sale signpost for as long as the Hussains could remember. One Monday evening, when the children were returning from the park with the Khan's children, Hamza noticed that the house next to theirs looked different. The old dirty for sale sign had been replaced with the new sold sign. They torpedoed through the front door to find Mom and all started speaking excitedly at once. Mom, in her usual calm way, handed each of the children a glass of milk and a cookie and said, "Yes, I saw it too. I'm glad that we will have some new neighbors. Once they have settled down, we can welcome them into our neighborhood." Over the next week, the children noticed a large moving van unloading furniture into the house. On Thursday, Fatima saw a car parked by the house and, filled with excitement, called for her brothers and sister. "Aisha, Hamza, Ali, the new neighbors are here." The children sped downstairs and were just about to open the front door when Mom stopped them. "Children, give them some time to relax. You can say hello tomorrow afternoon." After some protest, the children reluctantly went back upstairs and went to bed early, impatient for the next day. The next afternoon, the Hussains went to meet the new neighbors. Aisha rang the doorbell and a tall man with brown hair opened the door. Ali excitedly blurted out, "Hello, I'm Ali. Do you have anyone my size?" The man, very puzzled, looked at Ali and then at Ali's mother, who said, "Assalamu alaikum. May peace be with you. We are your neighbors, the Hussains. Sorry about my son. He just wants to know if you have any children his age." "Walaikum salam. I'm Tariq Rahman, and yes, we have children." He paused and then called loudly to his children. "Ayan, Zuha, come here." Two children came pounding down the stairs, both smiling. Fatima, Aisha, Ali and Hamza introduced themselves. Hamza gave the cookies and little Ali let them know that he was disappointed that Ayan was 14 and Zuha was 12. After chatting about their new house, the Hussain children were about to leave and Ayan said, "We are having a welcome party tomorrow with lots of music. Maybe you can come along as well." Fatima, not sure what to say, replied, "Yeah, we'll ask Mom." The next evening, after the family had prayed Maghrib evening, loud music blared in through their windows. Music so sudden and loud that it upset little Ali. Ali's father comforted him with the ideas that the music would end in a few minutes. But 15 minutes later, the music had not stopped. In fact, it just seemed to be louder. The children patiently waited for the music to stop, but it didn't cease and played at full blast throughout dinner. Their father then went to watch the news and had to turn the volume up to hear it. And when the family prayed Isha night together, they could hardly hear their father. At bedtime, the children's father tucked them in and kissed them good night, but Ali couldn't sleep. He lay in bed, tossing and turning. At 9:30, there was a loud bang, and for the second time that day, Ali burst into tears. Throughout the night, there were loud noises and cheers that echoed through the street. Patiently, the parents ignored the music and tried to sleep, and around 1 in the morning, Mrs. Hussain was grateful to hear the music stop. The street was serene and silent. The next day, when the children complained to Mom, she said, "Listen, children, let's sort this problem out calmly and nicely, in the way the Prophet would have. Did you know that since the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was spreading Islam, the Arabs felt threatened by his new teachings and they harassed the Prophet and were unkind to him? Even the Prophet's uncle Abu Lahab was the Prophet's neighbor. He and his wife both abused the Prophet verbally and physically. But the Prophet was always very kind and gentle with his neighbors. When one of the Prophet's companions asked him what it meant to be a good neighbor, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that to be a good neighbor, you should help those living around you if they need it. For example, if they need to borrow some money, you should help them out. The Prophet also told his people that you should visit your neighbors if they are sick or in some trouble. Although the people of Makkah were not kind towards our Prophet, he still told people that you should offer your neighbors fruit and that you should congratulate them if anything good happens to them. We should follow his example and try to be kind to our neighbors as well. She smiled and continued, being a good neighbor is part of being Muslims. In many cities today, people don't even know who lives next door. Isn't that a shame? Little Ali nodded and asked, "But what can we do?" "Well," said Mom, "we can either go to their house or ask them to please turn the volume down next time. Maybe we can take some cake with us, or we can just ignore the problem." The children thought for a moment and said, "The first one. That's a good idea." Good choice, children. You know that the Prophet encouraged people to give gifts to their neighbors. When the Prophet's wife Aisha asked whom she should send her gifts to, he replied, "To the one whose door is closest to yours." Islam tells us to take care of all our neighbors. So the next day, the children took some cake to the neighbors. Mr. and Mrs. Rahman felt ashamed that their loud music had disturbed them and sincerely apologized. Fatima, Hamza, Aisha and Ali were very happy that their plan had worked, and they never forgot the hadith about gifts. A couple of days later, on a sunny afternoon, the doorbell rang and Fatima ran to answer it. There stood Ayan and Zuha with a plate of brownies and a card that said, "We are sorry." Ayan and Zuha thanked Fatima for teaching them such an important lesson, and from that day on, the two families were great friends, and I'm sure they always will be. So I hope you enjoyed my reading. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Bye bye. Assalamu alaikum.